Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Sin's Chat Corner for a lovely Tuesday afternoon. Forgive my shortness of breath, but for lack of a better term, I've been running around like a bat out of hell all morning long just to get home in time, hopefully to get the show up and rolling. In just a moment or so, we're going to be having that amazing duet, country singers of Cadillac Blue. So I wanted to make sure that I go ahead and just do a couple quick show announcements real fast before I make them holding on too long. First and foremost, before I forget, tomorrow we're going to be presenting Lori Zaslow. For all of you who don't know who she is actually infamous for being the Bravo girl. She's actually the individual who does the love. She's the love broker. Really excited to have her on the show because, first of all, I'm tired of being single, so hopefully she can facilitate that process. And second of all, she's just a damn sweet girl. So I'm very, very excited to be hosting her, of course. Before I get Lisa and Terry on the program real quickly, I just wanted to take a quick second to do this now because my feeling is by the end of the show I'm going to be too wiped out to do it. But to those that happen to be listening who have taken the time, whether it's to send good thoughts or to personal message me or to speak to me directly or anything that you've done in the regard of my child, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much to everyone that I know. It means a great deal to me as you've taken this journey with me for the last 2 weeks or so. Just a quick update for those that wanted to know. We have gone in to see his neurologist today, and unfortunately, it isn't better than we expected. It's worse than we expected. So a lot of unknown answers. We'll be back again tomorrow going to the doctor, so I would appreciate it if you just keep my little boy in your thoughts and prayers and just keep hoping that everything is going to turn out great. And I'm going to try to keep this positive attitude. We're going to have a great interview today. Like I said, Lisa Ewing and Terry Baker, both Canadian sensations, hailed from Canada, now in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to talk a little bit about country music. We're going to talk a little bit about them. And I got them both at the same time, so I'm really excited. So let's get them on the line. Let's get the interview started. Hello. Hello? Okay, well, that's very strange. I just clicked on to get them on the line, and neither one of them are there at the moment. I guess I'm not quite sure why that's the case, but we'll give them a second here. In case some of you don't know, as I mentioned, Cadillac Blue is a country duet. Composes, of course, Lisa Ewing and Terry Baker. Terry being the guitar player, Lisa being the singer, of course, and very beautiful, I might add. Actually, to tell you the truth, they're both damn beautiful people. I'm probably going to tell them that on air, but for right now, we'll leave it as such. They're both amazing sensations as it relates to singing. I was privy to listen to a couple of different pieces that they've done before. Just amazing, young, talented Canadians. I'm very, very excited for them. And like I said, they've got some new projects that are out and about, so we want to talk about that. I think I have them back on the line, so let's try to see if we can connect again. Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Oh, my God, I have you both. I said hello, hello, and I'm thinking, am I talking to myself? I'm having an interview alone? Oh, so you're both together. So you're not on separate lines. You're on one line at the same time.
Yes, speakerphone.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, okay. This is good. So I can talk to you both at the same time. You can both hear me, and then one can shut up while the other one talks, if I got that right.
Sometimes we talk over each other as well.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much because I'm like, yeah, you're handled by probably one of the best people I know in my entire life, Deborah Patricia Wood. To those that don't know who she is, she's a publicist extraordinaire. All the beautiful people live in Canada, and I boast about your country more times than I can tell you. The talent, the music, the crisp, fresh newness of everything that comes from you folks. I'm in awe. I mean, I just get excited when she tells me somebody's coming on. So, I mean, I have high standards for you people. Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks so much.
So I hope you live up to that standard. Yeah, well, I'm sure she probably prepared you, and if she didn't, let me just warn you now. I'm a pretty sassy little shit, so this is going to be an interesting 60 minutes. It should be. So I try to make my interviews very different than anyone else. So I'm thinking first and foremost, this is the first on my show in that both of you, as I understand it, are both born and bred in Canada, yet your current hometown is listed as Nashville. So right now you're in Tennessee, correct?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just making sure there. Now, I've gained just an exorbitant amount of friends who've raved about the musical benefits that one can attain by living in Nashville or actually being in Nashville performing there. So maybe, first off, just in using your own judgment to answer this question, do you think it's true that Tennessee boasts a great means to rise in the industry as compared to, let's say, Canada? What benefit is there to being where you are?
Well, I'd say it's the music capital of the world right now. Anybody who's serious about music and or country music, you'd have to be here. I mean, everybody who's in the business, I mean, it's when, like, I don't think there's a whole lot going on in California or not even New York as much. I would say Nashville is the music capital of the world, really, and there's a lot of music. And country is the one genre that's still doing well out there, you know. And
Sure. Oh, definitely. I agree.
Yeah. So definitely, you know, and there's so many great musicians here. That's why people come here. The great musicians and the great producers are here. So it really helps move it along. You know, this Music Row is kind of like there's so many people there that help along the process of new artists, you know, that none like you've ever seen anywhere. You know, it's not like us against you. It's that if you got a project moving forward, people will help you and they'll get on, and it's affordable to do, you know, so it's really awesome.
Now, was this something that you actually were you advised to make the move there, or was this a personal maneuver on your part where you guys sat down and thought, yeah, this is where we need to be to get the success we're looking for?
Well, you know, it's just, I guess as a musician, you know, there's so many, you got to just overturn every stone, you know what I mean? If you want to be successful, you got to try, just to look at every aspect of everything. And Nashville's one of the things someone said, you know, that song, you got to go to Nashville with that song. And us being kind of stupid, we just said, okay. So we went down with, you know, well, not one song, we had many songs, but the one that people just really said, somebody just said you should go to Nashville with it. So we did, and sat down in front of Chuck Howard, who's one of the biggest producers down there of all time. He's had over 100 songs in the top 10. And he goes, I think this is a hit song. He goes, I just want to put some fiddles and steel on it, and basically that's all I want to do, Thinkin Bout You. And we did it, and, you know, it's getting played right away on 2 major stations down here, and we're on a lot of, you know, quite a few radio stations in Canada and the U.S. now, too. So it's been going really well, you know.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Have the bulk of your performances, just looking at your career thus far, have you done the majority of your work there, or has it been in Canada, or has it been a nice even split for you?
Well, actually, we've performed, like both of us have performed for a long time. I was on the road at 15. I started performing, touring and everything at 15, and Terry was also performing quite young. And so both of us spent a lot of time performing around Canada and touring. And, you know, since we've been in the U.S., we have done a lot of work, you know, all throughout the U.S. Like we perform anywhere from pretty much Florida to we've been to Utah. We've been all over the place and performing. You know, sometimes it's not our music. Sometimes we're playing cover music. Whatever it takes in this business, as you know, you have to do a lot of things to kind of, you know, juggle to sort of make everything work. So we've done a lot of touring actually in both countries. I would say probably the last 5 years has been more in the U.S. for sure.
Okay. Do you find yourself having a preference or holding a preference, meaning it's just great to go back to Canada because you live there, or are you just kind of thinking, you know what, we're here to stay right where we are? Do you know what I mean?
You know, I think we love performing anywhere. I'm speaking for Terry, but when I say that, we both love performing for everybody and anybody who likes to, you know, loves music. But I think for us at this point, just doing country music, I think it's just really nice to be in the state of Tennessee because this is, you know, where a lot of it started, a lot of where the big, you know, artists started and where the music began, you know, from anybody from Johnny Cash to, you know, many of the greats. And I think that when you're performing in this area, it kind of gets in your blood a little bit too, you know, for writing. So it's kind of neat that way.
Mm-hmm. Right. I imagine so. I have never been there. I keep getting nagged to go to Nashville all the time, so I'm like, I should probably check it out sometime because it's like the land of musicians central, isn't it?
You'd love it. There's so many bars on Broadway is the main street downtown, and there's just literally, it's probably at least 100 bars, and there's always live entertainment. And you'll see so many great musicians, a lot of them probably playing for tips, and they're incredible. A lot of them are incredible. And every bar, like, best time to go, I think, is Monday to Wednesday because it's not as busy, but Friday, Saturday, it's packed in there, you know.
And it's kind of funny because some of the most talented people might be serving you drinks in there. You know,
oh, my God, really?
It's really true, and everybody who's kind of done something here has waited tables or, you know, driven a taxi or, you know, it's anybody that we meet, you know, they have a CD, you know, we call it the Nashville Handshake because it's kind of how everybody meets here.
How cool is that? That is absolutely awesome. Well, I can't go there first. I have to go to Canada first because, first of all, the one thing I have learned about y'all is you're all damn beautiful. I mean, there ain't nobody that comes from your country that's ugly. It is as simple as that.
What's the old saying?
Look at yourselves in the mirror, man.
what do they say? Follow someone ugly home, and don't see if someone ugly, don't open the door for them. I know. I used to go home.
It is. I'm telling you, it is 100% fact. I mean, not only are you multi-talented, but you're all gorgeous. I'm like, it just kind of come out of this model factor. It's just like, oh my God. So I have to go there and try to find a boyfriend. Then I'll go to Nashville. See how that works. Just figure it out. Okay.
Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe the air might be a little purer up there, but I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But thanks so much. No, we appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem at all. No, I know obviously, of course, I'm gathering that you were both reared in a different fashion, including, of course, educational background and experiences. So why don't we start with Lisa? If you could, provide the scenario for us as it relates to your childhood. Just tell us a little bit about growing up, and including when you discovered your musical talent, as well as the mentoring that you gained over time to improve on your singing and songwriting.
Well, I actually remember seeing my aunt and my uncle. They were performing at a wedding, and it was a family wedding, and I think I was about, I'm going to say 5 or 6, but I'm not sure 100%. And I just, when I heard her singing, and they play country music, I just knew that's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. I just kind of looked up there, I watched her on the stage, and I said, well, that is definitely what I'm going to be doing. And, I kind of started singing back then and writing music when I was like maybe 8, 9 years old. I was writing music. I used to get my friends to come over and perform my little songs with me for my family. It drove them crazy. But, I think throughout my years performing, it's just been traveling and being exposed to new music and, new situations in life. And I think that's a big part of, as a songwriter, where you develop a little bit. And just, writing a lot of music is also where I think you develop as a songwriter, just, doing a lot of it. But as a performer, I think I love Alabama, Patsy Cline. All of these are such great influences. That's the kind of music that, we aspire to create some great music like that, great harmonies. And, one thing I've learned over the years is that country music is all about the lyrics. It's all about the story. It's about the songs, and it's the songwriting art itself is so important. That's where it all starts.
Of course. Now, did you find yourself when you were young, were you like the typical doodler, where you're writing down thoughts all the time? I mean, was it an easy process for you, or did it take some time to master the songwriting component?
Oh, well, I think at first they were probably silly little songs. But I just loved doing it. I used to write poetry all the time, too, and, it's just kind of like I was always fascinated with poetry and music and just constantly writing and in my own little world, I guess, so to speak. But I think that you get better time by doing that with other people, by writing with others. And that's what's great, too, about Nashville is that there is so much talent here. And the more you do write with writers as well, you learn from that experience, and it kind of opens your mind more to different ways of writing, different ways of going about putting together a song. For us, Terry and I have been writing together now for 10 years, and that has been huge for me as a songwriter. Learning, writing with someone else at first can be tricky, and then, after a while it becomes such an amazing thing, such a blessing, because you have somebody to, bounce the ideas off of, and for him it's the same with me, and we kind of go back and forth, and it's almost like, the song kind of goes through a process, and it's almost like going through a sieve, it just keeps getting better. The more, and I think that's true with the more writers that you have on a song, you have more ideas, and it just becomes better and better.
And were you always determined from little on that it was going to be the singing component? I mean, did you want to just compose and do the writing portion of it, or were you always kind of set on, I've got this voice and I want to try to utilize that for good? I mean, was it one or the other, or did you just feel comfortable doing both?
Actually, I was definitely a songwriter first, I have to say, and then sort of discovered that I could sing and, that I could sing well. At first, I was too shy, and I think that when I was younger, I would never even have dreamed that I would have ended up actually, I knew I wanted to do, but I didn't know if I could actually do it. I don't know if I really believed in the beginning that I was going to be able to get up on stage in front of people, and now it's like, it's crazy because we could perform up to, 50,000 people and not be nervous. And it's funny, we just actually played Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville to I don't know, 10 or 15,000 people, and it's like, it's crazy. It's come a long way, because now it's like I don't even get nervous getting on stage anymore. It's kind of funny.
Oh my God, how cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really neat. And I think actually the more people you perform for, the easier it is in some regard.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You would think it's the opposite, but actually I really feel like it's the other way.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because 5 minutes before I do my interviews, it scares the hell out of me. I'm like, I know I'm going to only have like 1 or 2 people on there, but it's just that nervousness gets you really pumped up and excited. That adrenaline rush, I guess, is what it comes down to.
Oh, yeah, we still get that, that's for sure.
It's because it's more intimate,
really?
Right? So, like, you know, it's just strange when you're talking to 1 or 2 people, but when there's lots and lots of people there, it's strange, but it's not as personal.
Yeah,
so it's just kind of like, oh, well, you just kind of, you feel like you're part of the crowd almost. It's weird.
Sure. No, I understand exactly what you mean. Now, let's do the flip side. We'll put Terry on the spotlight here, and we'll say, okay, Terry, now tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you discovered your talents and how you've kind of mentored along and honed your talent to be where it is now.
Well, first off, I'm just a good looks. I'm not the talent, okay? So let's get that straight. No.
Oh, my God.
I'm joking. But, no, my grandmother, you know, her father was from Ireland, and she basically grew up playing a squeeze box, and she met my grandfather in the Second World War and came to just north of Toronto, and that's when my mom was born. So when we used to get together with him, like my grandfather used to make moonshine in his basement, and he was a pretty wild dude, and the SCMP kicked in his door a couple times for it. But they used to have all these kitchen parties, and people come over there, and they just they do music around the kitchen table, and I grew up with that. And you know. So anyway, one day I said, oh, I want a guitar. So my mom goes, well, get your grandmother to get you a guitar. So she got me an acoustic. I couldn't play it. And then she was dating a guy who was got drunk one night and bought an electric guitar. Well, I learned all the chords, but all of a sudden I could play this guitar great. And then I just wound up with the guitar eventually. And next time I was a little rock star in my, you know, grade 7, 8 classes, right? So I just, you know, kept playing music and, you know, got in a few bands and got on radio here and there and, you know, just got out and play professionally. I knew I wanted to do it from a young age. And my mom taught music. She taught piano. She learned piano when she was young. And I grew up with classical music, and she had records under the hi-fi back then it was. And, you know, she had everything from the Doors to, like, the Eagles to Hank Sr. to, God, you name it, Smiley Bates to, like, everything from, you know, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn, to rock, everything, right? So you just were pretty open-minded in that musical family because there was just everything. So it's not much we didn't grow up on or didn't like, you know. And just kind of kept with it and, you know, had success, a little successes here and there. So it was, you know, just loved doing it, you know. It's the one thing that I've always, you know, people say, oh, start talking about jobs, and we go, oh, I never really had a job, you know, which, you know, it's kind of funny. But yeah, so that's...
When it's passion, it's not a job, is it?
Well, yeah, you know, so we love what we do, and we're blessed to do it, and some days we really take it for granted, but I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Music has taken us so many places, so far, you know, so many different places, and meet so many great people, right? So it's awesome.
Right. Well, one thing that you know, I'm begging to ask because I'm sitting here listening to this is because, of course, you are where you are right now. Do you find yourself in extremely fierce competition and ever thinking to yourself, man, I'm not so sure we'll be able to ride the tide here because there's just so many musicians where you're located. Do you find yourself overwhelmed with that competition?
Well, I think the nice thing about original music is that technically there isn't really a competition because there's only one Cadillac Blue and there's only one other artist. You know, everybody's their own artist, and that's such a neat thing. And actually, this business is pretty amazing. People are pretty awesome. Like in Nashville, I just find that a lot of people like that just want to help you, you know, like we all help each other, you know, we all are going for the same thing and have a lot of the same goals and understand the struggles and yeah, the people are awesome here. Honestly, the artists are great and we all try and help each other, you know.
How awesome is that? That's cool. It's like how we are here. Only, of course, we don't have 15,000 people coming to an open jam, but we are supportive nonetheless. So I'm a little jealous. We'll work on that, folks. Milwaukee, I guess we got to kick it up here a little bit. We're no Nashville. We're no Canada. We're just little Midwestern people here, but we'll work on that. Okay, let's talk a little bit. Year 2003, I know, meant the unification of both yourselves for the common goal of creating some powerful country ballads. Now, first off, who found who in this arrangement? Meaning you guys are walking along, living life one day. How did you actually formulate the partnership? Honest
to God, we were both in 2 different bands up north, and Lisa came to a bar. I was playing, and she had finished playing.
And when we say north, it's really north.
Okay, Thompson, Manitoba,
Really?
like, you know.
We're bears.
The Polar Bears come out. But we were playing Nickel Days up there, both bands, and just kind of met each other in a club. Like, her band came out and got up and jammed with us, and next thing we were just kind of hanging out, and we hit it off, and it's kind of one of those things, you know, it's like destiny when you're meant to be together, and we spend 24/7 together. I mean, that's what we do. We work together, everything, you know. So
we live in a hallway on wheels.
Yes, we're getting to that because I'm curious about this whole little arrangement here. Now, so before I ask my other questions, I want to ask you both, and I don't care who starts, which characteristics do you most admire about each other? There's a few things you could tell me about each other as it relates to each other, so to speak.
Well, I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to say that Terry is extremely determined and, like, stubborn in a good way, you know. Can be both, I'm sure, but for him, he's just, like, he decides he's going to do something, come hell or high water, he's doing it, get out of the way because, you know, it's going on. And not only that with Terry, but he is really, really good at fixing things. We always joke around, we call him MacGyver. You could give him some gum and a paper clip and he can, you know, fix the starter or whatever, you know.
Oh, my God.
And it's crazy. He can do it cheap. Like, people call all the time and say, like, Terry, this is wrong on my car. This broke on my car. What do I do with this? Or this happened to my PA system. I need to fix it. And Terry's always got an answer, and he can always help people. And that brings me to my favorite thing about him, and that is that he makes time for people. People are absolutely the most important thing to both of us. That's how we both feel. And Terry definitely makes time for anybody who ever needs them. And if there's any way he can help anybody, he's one of those people that, you know, we all aspire to be. He's really giving that way with his time.
Oh, so sweet.
God,
okay, Terry, your turn.
Good God.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Try to bullshit well. That's what I always say. I'm like, you can't think of stuff real quick, just bullshit.
You're going to hear some yelling near the end of this conversation. No,
I'm
Lisa
sorry.
with the sense of reason. Like, she's very, she's a sense of reason. Like, you know, for me, I'm like, oh, that seems like a good idea. And she's like, no, or whatever. You know, she's very smart. Like, I mean, she can track down anybody on the internet. Like, I mean, good God, if you're looking for somebody, I mean, she could find, I don't know, she's like Sears, man. Sears looking for you. She's awesome.
Anybody.
No, she's based the reason, and she's like a sleeping giant. Her voice, like, people meet us, and they think I'm the guy. They think I'm the guy in the band because my mouth runs too much, right? The next thing they're like, oh, what do you do? Are you the roadie or something? Are you his girlfriend? And she's like, oh yeah. And then next thing, like, she's sleeping giant. She opens her mouth, starts singing, and literally, like, one night we were playing, and this lady comes up, and she goes, oh my God, we thought, like, she was sick or something. I go, what? And she's going, I've just never heard anyone sing Crazy by Patsy Cline like that. And we're like, oh, thanks. And she's like, oh, my God. And she just kept saying it. And we were like, I thought she was going to cry or something. And I was just like, okay, well, it was just, I couldn't believe it. But she puts people in a spell when she gets singing, I think, you know. So, but she's so talented and awesome. But, yeah, so... But those are my two things. I hope it's good enough there, Lisa.
That was perfectly good. That was very, very sweet, actually. But, Lisa, now I have a really important question because, you know, he just put you on the spot, and he said you could find anyone. So I have a job for you to do. And I know Deborah's going to be listening to this, so she can concur this. I have this fantasy celebrity crush. If you could find this man for me, I will toot your horn 365 days a year.
Okay, so, bring it on, Cindy. Who am I looking for?
Okay. There's this little guy, you know, he's an actor. He's quite a big actor, though. He's on this little show called Touch. He used to be on this big show called 24. He's been in major motion pictures, and he's got blonde hair, and his name is Kiefer Sutherland.
I knew you were going to say that. Crush.
I'm just like, I beg people, anyone who comes on this show, anyone who comes on my other show, please, I don't care what you have to do. I just want one date. I don't have to keep him if he doesn't want me. I'm like, I just want one shot, right? One shot. That's all I'm asking for. So,
well, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get the date happening, but I bet you I'll be able to find him.
Great. I could find him, too. I wanted the date. Hello? Okay, great, Terry. Thanks a lot. Thought she's going to be able to help me. Moving right along. Yeah, thanks a lot. This is going downhill, Deborah. Thank you. If you could, both of you, again, define for me that one, if there was such a thing as one, if you could name one trait which in your mind kind of helped you to say, you know what, I know that this is the right musical partner for me. Was there just that one thing about that person, or how did you know that this was the right chemistry?
Actually, it seems like it's more than the music, because to me, I think it was more about, I guess, more his faith in doing it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's hard to pin one thing, but I would say like definitely his faith in doing what he loves and belief in doing it, and I guess his determination. Those, I really couldn't say one thing. It's just sort of the right attitude, I guess, if I was going to say one thing. He definitely has the right attitude about pursuing his dreams in life, and not that many people have that faith and that belief, and not too many people will step out and just get out on that limb, and that's where the fruit is, as they say,
Okay, Terry, you're on the spot again.
What was the question again? No, I'm kidding. It's so funny.
God.
It's like,
is he in this interview with us? Yes.
Yeah. Who am I talking to? I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
Ouch.
No, it's, for us, it's like, it's just one of those things when things are right, they're right. It's just, it's just weird, like we do music, it's a common goal for us. I mean, we complement each other, which is, really good. Like, things that I'm not good at, she's really good at. I don't know, we just hit it off really well, and it's like meant to be. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I don't really question it. I just kind of, and then you stick with it. You stick with it and work hard, and you're going to have your ups and downs, and, you say, like somebody said, it must be great. You guys agree on everything. I go, honestly, we almost don't agree on everything. Like, we almost are going different ways on everything, but it works out because it's like we troubleshoot each other. It's like she goes, well, what about this and what about that? And then we just kind of work it out. But that's been our success,
I think our best songs involve the most arguing.
You know what? I was going to ask this because it's like, you know what? There isn't a chance in hell that anybody listening to this show is going to believe for 1 minute, oh, they just get along so well all the time. Now, come on. If you're together 24/7, there has to be some kind of like, do you ever just look at him and you're just like, here's the hand, go away. Or to you, Terry, you're just kind of like, I don't even, just don't talk to me right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you ever get like that? And then how do you resolve that?
It's frustrating, right? But you just take a break and you realize, like, sometimes it's like, you're going to fight about things, right? It's just kind of like being with, your family. Like, you're around them, and it's like, but we honestly get along great. But it's just, it's, you just got to work at it and really do all you can to try to accommodate the other person. I mean, you're living in a motorhome. It's a small place, and we have 3 dogs, three tiny Shih Tzus, right? So,
Holy crap.
It's trying, right? And then it's not a brand new motorhome, it's not a perfect motorhome. But, that's when people say, oh, you're the chosen ones. Yeah, the chosen ones are the people that they work hard, they overcome the obstacles in life, and that's what I honestly think, it's hard work.
And when people say, oh, you guys are so lucky to, you have this going on, you're so lucky, and I think, oh my goodness, I think you pretty much have to chase down and beat down every opportunity that you have. So, it's so much, there is so much work involved. I mean, we're like, we feel blessed anyway, but, we've worked really hard for the opportunities that have come about and that continue to come about. We work hard at it, and Terry and I are still, self-managed. We're our own label, and we're independent. And, but getting back to the, us getting along, I think we get along pretty amazing, actually, considering that we're doing, that we work together full-time, live together full-time, and, are kind of up against the odds sometimes as well. So I think that we get along really well. And, again, when it comes to writing music now, when we have some really good arguments about it when we're writing, we know we're on to something. So.
I imagine so, because it's like sometimes the best work comes out of that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll tell you. When I wrote this interview, I wasn't quite sure. I was like,
same way, but we disagree on how to get there some days. But it's like the song "Thinkin Bout You." When Lisa basically came to me with most of the song wrote and I heard the bridge part, the intro part, and I just said, "Here it is," and I had the melody, and we just fought about it for an hour. We literally got in almost a screaming match, but we finished the song and it turned out great, and I think it's one of our best songs, and, we're happy. But That's kind of part of the process. I don't know what it is. He says, "Are you done fixing the motorhome yet?" And I go, "Listen, when the tools are flying and I'm cursing and swearing, I'm almost done, okay?"
Cool. That's very cool. Did you hear of it? Everybody's going to be listening to this interview from now on. So basically, if you fight and use curse words, you'll have a really good product. I guess that's what.
Yeah, excellent. That's how it's done. Yeah, I mean, that's how you do kids. You just swear, curse and swear, and get in the motorhome and become some carny gypsies. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so.
You know, that's one of the things that I was intrigued to ask about, because obviously not everyone makes that elected move to move your recording studio into an RV, which is what you actually did. Were there any technical challenges? I guess I would imagine if you're actually physically recording there, haven't you come across some obstacles along the way as far as that goes?
Well, first off, we're doing demos. So, like, really with an iMac, you've got your computer. Your computer's a studio. Is you know, but it didn't start that way. No, we you know, like it's a lot easier than it was in the past. You know, like, you know, a lot of the time today you can plug into somewhat a computer or an interface of some sort, and you've got your guitar amp. You don't really need a physical guitar amp to play through and mic it up and then plug it in. Although, you know, that's the professional way to do it. But when you're doing demos, you know, that's pretty much how we do it. We do it pretty basic, but they sound good, and they're effective. And, yeah, you know, if you got so much space where you just juggle it around, and, you know, if it sounds good, it is good. You know, that's the bottom line.
And I think, like, maybe one small challenge is just the room. I think that would be, don't you think, Terry, that's probably one of the big ones? Because the studio technically goes where our table is, where we eat. So we eat we eat kind of over the counter a lot. So, but that's, I mean, it's a small price to pay anyways. Other than that, I mean, usually about 10, 15 feet away from the trailer next to you, so we kind of have to watch our volume a little bit too.
I imagine so, because I can imagine there's pounding on the trailer like, what's going on in there? Da, 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 da. Well, plus, if you envision an RV and you're recording it, I'm thinking, are you guys like hillbillies or something? Because I'm like, why the hell would anyone choose to, why would you choose an RV to go traveling in? I mean, was there like some major reason that you opted to do this?
Well, here's the thing. If you're Canadian and you come to America, you know, it's like, first if you'd have to rent a place, then you'd have to stay in that place. And like for us as Canadians, okay, so we get a work visa, but all we can do is music, right? So we kind of have to enforce. So in Nashville, you can't buy a gig, so we have to go to Florida to work and do stuff where there's not as many musicians, and then we come back, right? So you know, you'd have to have 2 or 3 different places or stay in hotels, and it gets expensive. So with a motorhome, it's cheap, and it's comfortable. It's always home, and everything's in here. So when you roll up, you've got everything you need. You don't have to, you know, move all the time. You're not moving all your stuff into a vehicle out, in and out. And, you know, hotels are a pain. Like,
and if you don't like the neighbors, you just put it in drive.
It's very well put. But it must be kind of hard to have a party, though. So, like, if you're entertaining, it's like, yes, come to the RV. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's got to be kind
actually,
of fun.
no. A lot of the parks, you can have you know, there's pools, and there's you can have a bonfire, and you know, we have a big awning outside, so if we have a barbecue or something, you know, it's kind of fun. It's like upscale camping, so to speak.
A little redneck party. That's all.
Nothing wrong
like
with
this
that.
Is an
There's
old coach,
nothing wrong with redneck.
It was a nice old coach in the day. It's all solid hardwood from front to back, and I mean, honestly, it's nicer than our place in Florida. So,
Gotcha. So there you go, people. Nashville. Look for the RV. I don't know where they're located. Just maybe they have Cadillac Blue on the outside, but I don't know where the hell they are. But just drive around till you find them. They'll apparently give you a campfire and let you stay in their RV in the small room. Maybe I'll get the invitation if I'm nice enough to you.
Come on over.
Anytime. We'd love to have you down. We'll have a bonfire. We'll take you down to the buffet.
I'm talking.
We'll look for Keeper Sutherland.
Oh my God! Did she just say that right now? She's my favorite guest of all time, like all year. Oh my gosh, totally wonderful.
You know, there's so many stars that come to Nashville. I wouldn't doubt he's down here every now and again. A lot of people.
Well,
do.
you know.
Who's the girl who's in that show? So what was her name? The star from Nashville.
Oh yeah, Hayden. Hayden was there.
Hayden. We went to actually the Sheepdogs play at this bar.
Maybe
there was nobody there. Remember the ones that went on Rolling Stone cover, and then the girl from Nashville showed up there, and in about 10 minutes there was about 500 people showed up. I don't know, like, everyone on Facebook, it's like...
They knew, yeah, and it's actually really common here, and especially if you get out on, like, a Monday or Tuesday night, you see a lot of stars in the bars, and everybody's really, really chill about that in Nashville. Like, people don't really, I mean, maybe sometimes there are people that are, you know, just coming here to visit, but in general, locals won't go up and bother anybody, and everybody just, you know, has a good time. But on Monday and Tuesday night, Jay, you see a lot of artists out, and you'll see actors and all kinds of people.
Well, Vince Gill, we went to see Vince Gill in this little bar called, this band, what do they call the Time Travelers?
Time Jumpers.
Time Jumpers. And Vince Gill's playing in this bar, and there's like maybe 75 people, and it's $15 to get in, and he's right there. It's awesome and incredible, like right there. It's just, you know, they're everywhere. It's pretty cool. They just all get out and play. They all want to play. You know, they're musicians, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right. Well, good. Now I have an open invitation, so don't be embarrassed when my ass just shows up. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I've been known to show up. Thank you. So now, just when we thought it couldn't get worse enough, before we continue on talking about the band, actually, it's time to, I usually try to get very blunt, and I ask very invasive questions for the mere purpose because I can, and it's my show, and to embarrass you. So I don't feel like I've done you justice because we haven't got to that part. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to admit ignorance. Because I went onto Facebook yesterday, and I tried to friend Lisa Ewing, and guess what? She's at 5,000, so she's become so schwank now that she knows 50,000 people. I can't be her friend. If I was her friend, you see, I'd see her relationship status, like Terry's relationship status. See, he's in a relationship. Lisa, we don't know if she's in a relationship. One could deduce that Cadillac is in a relationship, but see, we don't know that. So we're going to ask that question. Lisa, are you seeing anyone?
Hilarious. You know what's funny is that when I first went to Facebook, oh, you're killing me over here.
Yes.
But, you know, the truth is when I went on there, I never put any information. I don't even think I put where I went to school. But it's funny because I think I just saw recently that Terry added that.
Yes, he did.
So
it says right on his page.
Yeah, I may have to change my status on there. Maybe today.
I wouldn't know because I can't be your friend because you're too busy. You have the 5,000
Well, don't feel that. You know, Dave LaVox from Rascal Flats, he sent her a message and said, delete someone so you can add me as a friend.
He's important.
Which was kind of funny.
He says yes. He says, like, friend me. You should be friending him. But you know what? I still don't have an answer. So right back to that question. Lisa, are you seeing anyone? Are you dating? Do you have a boyfriend?
I am, actually. I am currently in a relationship, but I mean, I can't talk about it, but.
You can? Okay, well, how does that work in terms of you and Terry then? Because you're with him 24/7. So I'm just wondering what the boyfriend thinks of that. I mean, assuming that the boyfriend wouldn't be, Terry. So I just want to get to the bottom of this so we all know, because there might be people listening who might think, you know, Lisa Ewing is kind of pretty and, you know, they may want to try something. So I'm just trying to provide a community service. So can you help me?
Yes, you're getting the exclusive. Terry and I are together.
I'm really good at getting this on my show. Oh my God!
Yeah, the exclusive. You're getting the goods. No.
Yes.
No.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Terry and I have been together for 10 years. So 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I think in June it's going to be 10 years.
I wouldn't know. I didn't even know we were in a relationship. No, it's not on your Facebook. So
10 years. Okay, you know, I saw your video. Do you know what I didn't notice? I think there's no diamond there. So, 10 years. Are you married?
No, now you got Terry on the spot. Here we go.
Oh, now we're
I know, right?
Turning it around. I love this. Honestly, you know what? This 10 years has went so fast, and it's been a whirlwind. If you even knew, if you knew half the story, good God. We've been from here to China, and it's crazy, but we planned on getting married actually last year, but we were just so broke we couldn't do it.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So hopefully this year...
basically, if I get you bucks, you'll get married. So if I get you money and I get people to buy things, you will actually have a ceremony.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We were going to do it in Fort Myers Beach, but last year, but just everything was scheduled. Her mom was busy too, and then you got to get down to Fort Myers, or we had to go to Canada, so... It's expensive, you know. Like I see all these young people today, you know, spending $20,000, $30,000 just starting their lives in debt. You know, it's like we're pretty blessed where we're very frugal people, and you know, we've done well, but just because we haven't been crazy, and I hopefully this year we get to a point where money-wise we'll be able to do it properly and have a decent wedding, you know, and get married.
Oh, I'm going to cry right now. We're having a moment. Now, that doesn't happen often on this show. I make everyone else cry, not the other way around.
Making everyone else cry.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Lisa, have he asked you?
No, not so much.
Oh, my God. So this could have really been a moment here. We could have had a moment where we could have had a proposal on air. I was going to try to push for that, but that's a little much. We don't have all day here, and it might take Terry about 20 minutes, judging by his last answer, so we don't want to, have the entire audience waiting for this proposal. So this is what I will ask you, though, now that I know this, which I suspected, of course, to begin with. Let's just step back a minute, and let's say that you two were not in a romantic type scenario. Do you think that not only would your combination musically work as well, or do you think that it would be more of a strain, meaning if you had outside relationships? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I don't know. I see bands like Sugarland and this and that, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, they're juggling their families, this and that. It's been a whirlwind for us. I mean, it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, lots of traveling. I mean, people go, oh, you're going to California, how long are you going for? It's like one day. It's like you go there and come back sometimes. It's crazy, I missed my dad's funeral. I got caught driving with no license here, got arrested in
Oh, my God,
Tennessee.
Lisa, do you see what you're marrying here? Just saying.
I'm a criminal? No, but who would, in Canada, it's just a fine, right? Down here, it's like they'll throw you in jail for it. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. We've had some, and not to complain, it's awesome, but it's just like I say to people, you better get up early if you want to eat my lunch because, we've been down the road. Lisa's uncle died. She missed his funeral. We've had a lot of sacrifice, but we're not complaining. We love what we do. It's just, what do? You gotta go on. You gotta live your life, and it's not all roses. It's not all easy. But we love what we do, and that's what makes life worth living, and hopefully making a contribution and people enjoy what we do. That's how I feel about it anyway.
That was nicely put. He did a good job there, didn't he, Lisa? He's getting better at this, so we just got to keep talking. He'll get better.
I was impressed with that answer.
I am too. I'm totally impressed with that. I mean, do you ever find, there are some that say having a healthy and successful love life is in some ways unattainable due to a musician's lifestyle, but you're living it together. But I mean, overall, would you say that that's true? Are there challenges that get brought to it because the demands are so high on your time, etc.? Or does it even apply to you now that I'm thinking about it?
I mean, I think it's basically what we're doing is very similar to anybody who's, a couple that are running a business together. And so you're kind of always, you're busy, you're putting out fires, and you just even 2 or 3 days ago, I had laryngitis, and we had to play the arena the next day. So Terry helped me out. He did actually a fair bit of singing at our show, which he doesn't usually do that amount. And he, kind of helped me out with it. And that's what's so nice, too, about being a couple is that, you do have somebody who's got your back there all the time and can help make things, work. Like he made sure that I had extra monitors and all that kind of stuff, too, for the day, and which is awesome. But I think that there's pluses, definitely of traveling together, so you're kind of with your partner and you're going in the same direction in life. But again, it can be tricky too because you are so busy and there are a lot of pressure and a lot of stress at times. So, we will have our moments, that's for sure, but I mean, overall, I think that we're just blessed to be doing this together because there is a strength there and there's a lot of ground. It's I don't know how to put that, but it's pretty solid ground with the two of us.
Aw. I have a wedding present for you. Wait till the end of the show. You're going to be happy about this. No, I just had a thought as I was sitting here. And I do have to give props to Terry. We'll give him one thing, which I think is really cool, because he is my friend on Facebook, so I can look at his information. Just saying, Lisa. She's a little too goody-two-shoes.
Well, we go way back,
One of the really cool things that I saw that you and I both dig, Dallas. You're a Dallas fan.
Oh, come on.
Thank you, right? Season finale last night. I'm like, oh, my God. Well, you don't like it for the same reason. Those boys are hot. I'm just going to go on record to say they're hot looking. But barring the hotness, which I'm sure Terry doesn't notice, at least I don't think, just out of curiosity, your take on that, because I know obviously it's a new version. Clearly, obviously, some things have changed. The storyline's different, whatever. Are you still impressed? I mean, you still think it's as good as the original show?
Honestly, I enjoyed more of the old one, but still,
really?
It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty cool, to see, just how you know, it's a nighttime soap or whatever, but still, like,
Right.
we used to watch it growing up as a kid. Like, I mean, and you got to remember Lisa's last name is Ewing, so people used to call her house and say,
Yes.
you know, who shot JR, right?
Yeah,
like, in the middle of the night. So, pretty funny, actually. But actually, Ewing, it's just kind of a cool Texas name, isn't it?
It is. It's very, very cool. And now it's going to change because you're going to marry her and give her a different name, like in the next year, right, Terry?
I know. Well, see, she's the star of the show. I might have to take her name, you know.
Oh, my God, that's too weird. We can't have two Ewings that aren't on a television show. To take the name, you must get a show. Tell Depper to get you a damn show, and then you can change your name to Ewing.
This is so funny. We went to a park one time, and because Lisa booked it, they didn't know that we weren't married, so they would call me Terry Ewing. And I asked the guy, I said, well, what's your name? Because they put us beside the other Ewings thinking we were related, right? And I said, what's your name? And he goes, well, you won't forget the last name. And, like, thinking my name was Ewing, right? So I was just kind of laughing about it. But anyway, yeah, so sometimes they call her Mrs. Baker, and then sometimes they call me Terry Ewing. I don't know.
Terry Ewing has
Look at that. Yeah, well, maybe Lisa could redeem herself. If she can't get me Keitha, there's this guy in that show, you know, Josh Henderson, the one that plays JR Jr., I'd take him, too. I wouldn't kick him out of bed on a good day, let me tell you. So maybe you could find him for me. You got to help me out, man. Doing the interview. What do you want? Thank you so much.
Well, she's funny because she'll go on Facebook, and nobody usually uses the real name on Facebook. She'll say, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. She'll say, this person is this person. And next thing, you know, you're friending people, and you're talking to them, and it's funny because they've got maybe 100 friends, and it's the real deal. Like, it's a real person. You can tell, right?
Well, the skills come more in handy, I have to say, in finding you know, gigs and getting a hold of people in the industry more than anything, I have to say. And Facebook is amazing. I mean, it's incredible. And I am kind of bummed out. They need to have, like, you need to be able to have 10,000 friends or 15, however many. I don't know why they have a limit on it, but it is such an amazing marketing tool. And, you know, any musician listening out there, that's what you need to do is definitely get into the social media and it's awesome because you get to know your fans and you can sit there and chat directly with them. And I don't think there's ever been a situation like that before, you know?
Honestly, everything we've done on either the internet or Facebook. Every opportunity we've got has been through the internet or on Facebook. Everything, which is crazy. And like obviously through people, but it's incredible how far it reaches and everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, and you know, it's just incredible. Like, you know.
It is. I agree with you 100%, definitely. So yeah, yes, so good. Now I'm done embarrassing you, so we actually like have to talk about your band now. I'm gonna have to do my job, and we have to like really talk about stuff now. No more bullshitting. Okay, seriously now. I am, and I will be very honest, I'm of the opinion that one is undoubtedly assured a quality product by calling upon what I would refer to as an industry excellence. Prime example of that is who we've prefaced before, which is Nashville producer Chuck Howard. In case other individuals aren't aware of who he is, I know in the past that he has lent himself to individual acts such as Trick Pony and Hank Jr. I know that you first started having a relationship with him in 2007 or worked alongside or with him. Now, since then, has this blossomed into more of a long-term scenario for you?
Well, here's the thing. It's like we met Chuck through a friend, a mutual friend. And he's really laid back. He's done everything. Like, I mean, like, for example, like, Chuck is so interesting. I went to his shop one time downtown, and he had a picture of him with the Bee Gees. And I go, tell me a story. Like, what's going on? And he goes, well, it was my first paid gig, and they hired me to come down. They heard something on my first hit record, and they liked the sound effect I did, so they hired me to come down to Florida and produce something. But, like, the Beatles lived at his house when he was a kid, so he told me that, you know, his father played on the George Harrison records. That acoustic guitar I have was his father's. In our promo picture, that was his father's. But Chuck is so interesting. He's done everything. And anything he does, he's like a major workaholic. He probably works 20 hours a day, and he always makes time for people. He's a really giving guy. And anyway, we're parked really close to his house, and I go over there and bounce songs off him and harass him because I like to see the look in his face when I say, check out this new song. And because he'll, you know, he's tough as a producer. Like, you could bring him 100 songs, and he'll tell you, I don't like it, 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 don't like it. I like this. I like this part of this song. You know, people think, oh, it must be easy. You're working with this guy. No, it's tough. They expect the best of the best, and if you ain't got it, then they're not making time for you because that's what they do. But he actually does movies now. He's not really doing music as much. Yeah, so he's produced, I think, 5 movies in the last year. You know, I call him Ron Howard. Chuckle Spielberg. But yeah, he's a pretty amazing guy. Like I couldn't tell you in an hour some of the stuff he's done, but he's had over 100 songs in the top 10. You know, and
sure.
And Leanne Rimes was, I think, the biggest artist, not biggest artist, but I mean, like the biggest songs that he's ever produced. The record, what was it? The longest charting country song on Billboard
for the first 100 years. Jason Mrazek just beat it out recently with that one song.
Country music, though.
But yeah,
I love him.
But anyway, like, you got to hang around those people if you want to be successful. I mean, you got to bang on their door and harass them until they either tell you the secrets or show you the way or introduce you to somebody or whatever, you know, like I'd go sweep the floor at his house if I could learn something, you know what I mean? Or anybody that's more successful than me for that matter, you know. It's like we're not too proud to learn, right? And that's what it's all about. High tide raises all ships, right? So you gotta be around, you gotta hang around, you gotta be there to make it happen.
So it's a fair assessment that he's kind of opened up some doors of opportunity for you in terms of having this partnership, things that have been presented to you that normally wouldn't have been without his alliance, I'm gathering.
Well, they're kind of like a musical barometer. Like when somebody's seen that many hits, right? You know, you've got to take their advice. When someone says, "Don't do that," you know, and you think it's a great idea, you know, looking back maybe 2 years after, you go, "Wow, he was right." You know, wasn't a good idea to do that or do that. And they call it. They know. They're rounders. They've been around, you know.
Sure. Okay. Good. Good answer, by the way. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about NASCAR, because this is something that was kind of exciting to me when I learned this, because I know that you were last check, is it this summer that you're actually going to be doing the NASCAR race circuit tour, or is that actually begun?
Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, we perform pretty much anywhere and everywhere, but we love performing at races. We've done Indy 500. We've done several NASCAR races. We're going to be doing some more. In fact, I think we're actually playing the Bristol race itself, I think, and that's in August. Still have to kind of look at the schedule and all of that, but it is awesome. I mean, it's amazing to get out and play these events, and they're unbelievably loud. If you've never been to a race, like, have you ever been? Or
I have. Mm-hmm.
You have?
It's loud. It's obnoxiously loud.
Right?
I'm like, unless there's a hot guy there, I'm not sitting there. That's a bunch of crap. But that's just me. But yes, I have been there, so I know what it's like. I can imagine that's got to be complicated.
It is, but it's wild that the fans of NASCAR, there's so many country fans, so it's a really cool thing. It's really, really nice that we can go there and get to perform for them. And obviously the people who love Danica tend to be real big supporters of us as well. And when we were on her website, for about a year and a half, and we had literally, we had emails from people all over the world, from France, from Poland, at the time she was doing Indy racing, and we just had so many people contacting us that were liking the music, and just from being on her website. I mean, she's just like the most Googled athlete in the world, and being the GoDaddy girl and swimsuit model, she's obviously very well loved. And I mean, sometimes we were getting 5,000 hits a day. I mean, it was incredible. We just watched the numbers. It was amazing.
And for those of you that don't know, because I just want to preface this because I was going to mention it, your song, Wide Open, of course, has been handpicked as far as Danica Patrick goes as her theme song. Were you actually fans of hers, or exactly how did she find out about your music and opt to choose this song in particular?
It's really weird. When we wrote Thinkin Bout You, we came down here, and I always tell people it's kind of like, remember see the Johnny Cash movie, and the guy says, what do you got? Because this doesn't sell, so I need something. Give me something. This is what people want, 3 chords in the truth. So Chuck basically said to us, I need another 2 songs if we're going to record here. So we sat down, and we were giving him all kinds of stuff, and he really didn't like it. And we just kind of thought, well, let's do something different. And we did Wide Open, co-wrote with a guy named Joe Sins, and basically he goes, I love this. This is awesome. So this other girl that we knew down here, she said, you should get that to Danica Patrick, because we didn't write it for her. Ironically, it's totally about a girl racing, right? And Lisa, again, gets on the Internet with her fingers and emails her dad. She doesn't know it's her dad, and her dad goes, I love the song, I'm putting it on the website. He used to run her website. And it was on there for a year, and, our numbers went through the roof on MySpace. It went from, having a couple hundred people view our music to, 150,000 in a couple months. So we knew the song was, it was a good song. People liked it. It was well received, especially by race car people. So then we shot the video, and because the lyrics for Little Basie, it didn't really get picked up on a major TV, but it opened the door for a lot of things for us, and then now that's what you're seeing with Thinkin Bout You. So we're actually starting to work on our third video, hopefully in the next month or so, with some really great people, and it's a real good song, and so we hope it's going to get some good airplay and exposure as well, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I was just going to say, and just so that folks will know this, because I am going to toot your horn a second, just because you've been nice to me for about 30 seconds today. Let me just tell you a little bit about the song Wide Open. Obviously, this is not only a song, but a video also. It's been played on Country Network and, of course, on TNN's Nashville Network over the course of 6 different states. I further note that you've had approximately 8,000 views to date on YouTube as far as it goes, which is absolutely awesome. Typically, I'm getting the sense of things, but I'm just going to ask this anyways. If I were to make a guesstimate at this point in listening to you guys, is both the songwriting component of this is a shared occupation, just as with the singing? Is it primarily Lisa, or do you also sing too, Terry? Because I guess I wanted to ask that.
Well, it's kind of like this. It's like, she's the greatest singer in the world, and I wish I was the greatest singer in the world, but I'm not. No, I struggle with singing. I mean, everything I know about singing I've learned from Lisa, and quite honestly, you know, singing is not my forte, but again, like, it's just so funny. You know, we laugh because Lisa's never been sick the day I've known her, really, not too sick to sing. I've never heard her sing a bad note. And my friend goes, do you want to play Bridgestone on, Sunday? I'm like, sure, let's do it. You know, let's me jump 1, 2, 3, right? And then Lisa goes, hang on, I'm sick. And I'm like, oh, you'll be all right. Like, so anyway, we go there, and she goes, she can't barely sing. And she couldn't talk the day before. So next thing, I'm freaking singing, you know what I mean? Which is crazy, you know, like the worst singer in the world, I'm singing to 15,000 people, and she's singing two and a half songs, right? So I'm going, whatever.
No, he's not the worst singer in the world. He's always saying that he can't sing. The truth is, Terry can sing, and he does a really good job. Everybody always enjoys it when he does.
Really?
Really? He does a good job.
Really? So Terry comes on the show and bullshits right to my face. Nice.
Well, I'm just...
Okay, thanks.
I call it as I see it, that's all. But as far as the songwriting, I would say Lisa is more the musical motor. I mean, I'm the type of guy, like, again, I'm the guy who takes stuff that's, I wouldn't say broken, but I have a way of kind of putting it together and pushing it in a direction. Like, I mean, you know, Thinkin Bout You was pretty much wrote the whole thing except for the intro part and the bridge. The intro is just part of the bridge with the vocal a cappella over it. And she kind of wrote the song in about 10 minutes, and then I wrote that part. And as soon as I heard that, I heard that part. And we thought about the lyrics in the bridge and got it done, and it just turned out to be great. But it's kind of weird how we have that dynamic. But yeah, I would say Lisa's more the musical motor than I am. You know, I'm just kind of... Okay. I just try and stay out of the way. You know what I mean? Okay?
He cracks me up. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Now I need you both to be quiet for 3 minutes and 28 seconds. So what we're going to do is we'll play it for the audience. This is Wide Open, just to have them get a sense of how Lisa can sing, supposedly, and Terry can't. He tends to forget, I think, that there is...
She's a girl gone wild, a badass child. She's the Ayatollah of country rock and roll. Lisa Hewitt.
And now that he's done that intro, let's play your song, and then we'll go back to chit-chatting. So give me a second here, and we'll see if we can get it on for you.
Right on.
The moment, and I own it, and it don't own me. I'm rebel proud, I live it loud, I got a right to be. I live in the fast lane, high octane, it fuels my need. I do what I do best, living life on the edge. I got a need for speed, yeah, I'm a different breed. I breathe hell like the devil's in me. And nothing could ever get to me. I drink moonshine like cheap wine, 100 proof country. No way I'll slow down, 'cause this is my town to do what I please. I do what I do best,
Wow. Do you hear that that she puts in there? It's enough to scare the hell out of you.
Did you like that? You know what's so funny is that originally I put it in there. We were doing it. I was just joking around in the recording. I went, and then Lisa did it after, and Chuck took mine out and left hers. So it's kind of weird. We didn't even want it in there, but he goes, I like that. He goes, I think that's cool.
I'm bringing the back to country, if it was ever in it.
I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it.
You know
I'm going to be doing a lot of that later today, so that actually will work for him. I'm going to adopt that sound. I'm going to say, Lisa said that I could use that today because I have a lot of pent-up frustration. So
when people say something, you just go, what do you think of that?
That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's right. It's a little nicer than putting the middle finger up, I think. So, yes, and it's actually
yeah, you can do it while you're driving. But I love it.
It's very, very cool, I have to say. Now, before we do a little bit of talk about Thinkin Bout You, which is, of course, the newest single that you have, a couple of fun facts that I found out about you. Terry uses, and I can't say the word, so I'll spell it, Knagg guitars. Is that your primary?
Well, if they give me a guitar, they'd be my primary, but they haven't yet, so, no, I'm kidding. You know what's so funny? I met a guy named Peter Wolf, and he was a real nice guy, and they make really, really nice guitars. And that guitar that was in the video, I said, listen, man, we'll do you a favor, and we'll use it in the video. It's a $7,000 guitar. He sent it to me, and I used it in the video, but honestly, all the footage that day was so windy on the beach that I think we used one shot in there, so didn't manage to get a free guitar out of them, but their guitars are awesome, you know what I mean? Nothing's free in the world, but it is certainly, they make really nice guitars anyway. But yeah.
You just never know. You never know when a guitar is going to come.
You know what I mean? I play whatever's working, you know?
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Now, I know that you also utilized the same fiddler player as Shania Twain. Did I understand that right?
Say that again?
Oh, yeah, I had found an
yeah, John Yitkin. John Yitkin is a friend of Chuck Howard's. He did a bunch of stuff with Chuck, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when you work with these producers, they have their favorite people that they pull in, and that's part of their it's kind of like their dream team, that the people that have made them very successful and they work with. And this is why people say, oh, it's all the same players on all the hit records. Well, certain producers will use those same players, but it's not always the same people. But, yeah, John is incredible. We had Vince Gill's steel player on there. There was a guy who played bass with Sheryl Crow, and I'm not sure what the drummer did, but everybody plays stuff. I mean, like, you know, this is what I'm saying. It's incredible. You sit there and brag about something. Oh, I've worked with Johnny Cash's producer. They're like, yeah, I lived at his house. And you're going, oh, you just shut up, because everybody down here has, like, done something 10 times what you've done, and they've been around longer than you, so you don't brag down in this neck of the woods, you know.
Oh, exactly. No, I understand. And then I also have been told that has this come to fruition yet? Or have you done the Full Access magazine, or is that forthcoming?
Yeah, I think that's going to be happening in June, from what I gathered. So, yeah, they're going to feature us in June.
Oh, my God, how exciting is that? I'm very excited now. I'm actually talking to somebody who's going to be in a magazine. Woo-hoo! All the more reason to like
it's a pretty awesome deal. Nice people over there.
Oh, I bet. I can imagine so. Now, you know, one of the things that I found kind of interesting, because I went let's try that again. I went to visit your website. There we go. And the one thing that I was missing in seeing was, if you have fans, per se, in Nashville that are looking for you or hear this interview, do you play out in certain establishments, or how do they find out where to go and check you out?
Well, right now, like, we're doing more promotion than anything. But again, with Nashville, it's just so crazy. There's just so many places to play, and there's so many musicians that, like, for us, like, it's kind of like, for example, we played Tootsie's one time, and there was, 20 people in the audience just because we hadn't built up a following. We played, but we get to play Bridgestone Arena in the hockey game in front of 15,000 people, so we thought, hey, we're more into quality over quantity. I mean, we're not too good to play those places, but, it's just crazy. It's like, I don't want to go into a place and play for 5 people as opposed to, I'd rather go play for more people if we could and, do better gigs. But, it's just one of those things where down here, you really got to work the scene, and a lot of these bands are playing 3-4 times. Some of them are playing 2-3 times a day, in different places. And,
Oh, I imagine. Definitely. Do you think at some point in time you're going to see Cadillac Blue doing an actual tour someplace, hopping around a little bit, here to Canada, wherever?
Yeah, it's like with the airplay, you know, you gain the fans, and then you're going to get some people out. You know, it's like going into a place in, you know, Boise, Idaho, where no one knows who you are, and playing for 20 people is probably, you know, a waste of our time and their time. You know, whereas, you know, we're going to, you know, work the markets that are playing us right now, like, you know, in TNN and TCN down here, and find out through our website who's, you know, following us, and try to go into those markets and work them.
One thing we've actually,
And I know,
kind of,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, dear. Fine,
I was just going to say, it's funny you're mentioning the touring thing, because we were just talking last night with some people about maybe putting together a USO tour, which would be so amazing to go out and actually perform for the troops. And it might even just be something here in North America, might be something that we do, you know, some bases, you know, throughout the United States for their, you know, their family days and stuff during the summer, something like that. So we're working on that with some people, and hoping that might work out well, and that would just be such an honor to do.
And I know that because you've done my show today and you realize that I live in Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure you're going to come here and sing, right? I mean, I don't have to, like, ask again.
Where are you anyway? I don't even know. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I live in, you know where Chicago is, right? I live about 90 miles. There's Wisconsin, then there's Illinois, and there's Indiana. See how that works? So I live in Wisconsin. And I'm having a birthday party, and I'm having about 100 different musicians here who are all going to play at the same time in one night. And you could be part of that big thing, but you'd have to come to Wisconsin. I know it's kind of a pain, isn't it?
Well, it's, you know, we always joke around. We charge you for the drive when we play for free.
Really? So I can't pay you in, like, booze, et cetera, because booze is a good thing, and food is a good thing, and exposure is a good thing. You know, I'm working on becoming a celebrity myself, so you got to work with me here until I get my show, according to Deborah, because I need a show apparently on TV because I'm so funny. We're kind of broke on this then. Funny looking.
No,
Have you looked at me on
Debbie's
Facebook?
awesome. No, it's cool, but you know, it's so neat. It's like we just drove up from Florida in our motorhome, $700 in fuel and repairs. I'm going, good God, it's so crazy, you know. But you know, I guess you save the hotels and that, but it's so crazy, like how gas, you know, like we're used to it being Canadians, but I don't think America realizes when it goes up to $6 a gallon, it can bite you in the rear, you know.
Oh, I bet. Oh, definitely it can, and I completely understand that, and I have empathy for it. You know, some of my best friends are musicians, actually, and I feel badly. They travel to great lengths to go to a gig just because it is their passion, and unfortunately, you know, it's just not as financially gratifying as you would want it to be. You know, hopefully at the end of this interview, I'm going to give you a little something that will give you a little leg up, at least my present to you, so we'll see.
Great.
The last thing that I want to talk about, of course, is the newly released single, Thinkin Bout You. Now, I must admit, I enjoyed the sound. It's got a fresh sound to it. I like the fact that Lisa changed a couple different times. I'm like, I am all over that costume change stuff. I'm like, who wants to watch somebody jumping around for 3.5 minutes and they've got the same outfit on? So that was cool. I like the acoustical sound of the guitar. I thought that was really cool, too. I was curious to ask, has anyone ever said to you that you guys almost have that slight twinge of a honky-tonk sound, or am I just, like, hallucinating?
You know, it's kind of Tex-Mex, isn't it? You know, that's when Lisa came to me with that melody. Na 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 na. It just sounds so old school, like almost like Willie Nelson, like Tex-Mex. You know, like I can hear Johnny Cash in the, you know, almost like the horns in Burning Ring of Fire. And I thought that's so cool. I love that. For me, like the influence of country music and my mom, like that older stuff with that sound. I always really dug that. And as soon as I heard that, I thought that is so neat. And that's why I emulated the solos, the vocal melody with those harmonies was really neat. But yeah, it's kind of got that. I guess that's what you refer to as that honky tonk sound. I don't know.
It does less of the country pop song, because I think a lot of times nowadays, a lot of the artists that are coming out there really have more of that pop feel to it as it relates to the country, and I still like that down home country sound. You know, there's something to be said about that. Maybe it's because my friends play a lot of the country. You know, just sitting with a guitar on a chair and just playing country music. I think that's probably the best way to go. Your music kind of reminds me of that. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, when your initial conceptualization for the video, did you have it all planned out in your head, or did you kind of have to, you know, put a bunch of heads together in a room? How did that become a reality, or finished version that I saw?
For Thinkin Bout You, you mean?
Yeah, correct.
Right. For Thinkin Bout You, we originally talked about having something that, you know, we wanted to have like a little, you know, country church in there somewhere, and we had some different ideas, but it sort of developed on its own because we were traveling at the time in Florida when we were planning putting this video together, and we drove past this awesome place, and you'll see it right away in the beginning of the video. It shows the trailers in the ground, and it's called Airstream Ranch, and it's in Florida, near Orlando, and we were just driving through and happened to see it and thought, oh, man, that is so neat, because it kind of resembles in some regard Cadillac Ranch, a little different idea, and we thought, how cool would it be to be able to shoot a video there on that property?
Sure.
And so we were trying to get a hold of the owner and trying to reach him, and we just, nobody was getting back to us. One day, we just somehow tracked him down, and he said, you know what, no problem. Come on in, and you guys go ahead. So we decided we were going to shoot down there, and we brought down the videographer, Amanda Van Zandt. She's an incredible photographer and videographer, and she's just awesome. She's an artist. And she came down and shot our footage down there, and we did a fair bit of it in Florida. We actually did a bunch of shots Fort Myers Beach, and you see the ocean there. And the rest of the footage was done up in just on the borderline of Kentucky and Tennessee, where we found this beautiful old church, 100-year-old church. Used to be all Czechoslovakian speaking, just recently changed over, I think, within the last 20 years. And we did some shooting there as well as in a cornfield. And we just decided, we were going to be doing just a performance video, so we thought we're just going to go with stuff that looks really beautiful. We put some beautiful colors and some nice scenery in there, and something that catches the eyes a little bit and catches everybody's attention. That was thus the idea of putting the trailers in there.
Sure. And, it's funny, too, a lot of times, those of us who are on the outside looking in, like if we're not in music production per se, it's just amazing to me how it starts off in being just an idea, then it becomes a song, then it becomes a video, and then it becomes out there where everybody recognizes you by the video you got. So I think that process is just fascinating. I've always thought that. I think it's kind of cool. The finished product, I think, is really neat, too.
It is pretty neat, and song becomes, just a piece of art, and it's really, I really admire songwriters, great songwriters, and I just love a great song. And you can just, you can kind of visualize that. What happens a lot of time is literally 3-4 people are sitting in a room bouncing ideas back and forth, and it starts there. And like you said, it just becomes, sometimes an artist gets pitched a song and might go through a couple of different artists that end up recording it. It doesn't get put on an album, but different people are cutting it, and eventually the right artist is doing it, and the right team, and then, they end up getting a videographer and producer, and it's amazing. It's really amazing what happens to great songs.
But it's all about the dream, like the dream first, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, the old saying is like all the people that know how to always work for the people that know why, right? You got to know why you're doing something. You got to have the dream. And the people that have the dreams are always followed by the people that know how to do it. And that's what we always try to keep the vision of what we want to do. It's about the song, have a great song, and just move it forward, and just don't stop and don't settle. Try to get the best quality and the best people to work with you because, it's important to have good stuff,
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, definitely. Now, there's 2 things we have to cover here before I let you go. I want to just double-check and make sure. We know that you have a Facebook presence. Well, at least Terry does. Don't bother friending Lisa because she can't because she's too hoity-toity to be your friend, I gather. But you can find Terry, though. And you can also find Cadillac Blue on Facebook. I know that you are on iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, MySpace. Your Twitter handle is at CADBLUBAND, and, of course, CadillacBlue.com. Are there any other places social media-wise, that people can find you?
No, I think you got them all. That's fantastic.
Whew, that means I did my job appropriately. Woo! Okay, 2 last things to finish up here. The very, very last thing that we do on my show, which most people will tell you, is you will get your 30 seconds. I get 30 seconds to finish off the show and to tell you exactly what I think of the both of you. That's the nice part about having my show. I get to say whatever I want for 30 seconds, and you have to shut up and listen. But prior to doing that, this is my gift to you, and you may necessarily, you don't have to wait. Terry might take about, 6 more years to actually ask. So I'm going to give you what I would call my wedding gift now. If you would be so inclined to, and I'm sure Deborah will hear about this, and hopefully she'll be okay with it too. besides being a radio show host, I'm also an author and I'm also a filmmaker. There are two things I'm working on right now. One is a documentary, and the second one is that I've just pitched my reality show, and it's looking good that they're going to pick it up, in which case I need some music written. So I was wondering if Cadillac Blue would have some time and availability. And the best way that I can offer you anything would be to offer you a spot in taking some original music that you would compose and put in either one of my productions, because I would be more than flattered if you would consider it.
You got it.
Absolutely.
Done.
Really? Don't have to think about it? You might have to have like a team meeting. Let's get back to you or whatever have you. I figured that was probably the night. I have a huge, and I've always had a huge longing and a desire to try to bring exposure to artists, whether they are well-known, small-known, not known at all. First interview, last interview, I think it's very important. Sometimes people don't know how amazing you are unless someone says, I want this music. So this is me saying, I want this music in some production that I'm doing. I don't care which one. And we'll talk about that at another time when we're not on the air, but that's my gift to you. My last thing in closing is my last 30 seconds to get an opportunity to tell Lisa and Terry what I think. So I'll try to keep it to 30 seconds. These are my overall assessments. I have to say, in the first 5 or 10 minutes, I thought, oh, my God, I'm going to strangle myself and die because these people are very, very serious, and this is a very tense interview. How happy I was to find out that not only do you have this absolutely adorable sense of humor, you're very, very lighthearted. You both are very mesmerizing in your stage presence. The first thing that I noticed, the first time that I watched your video, I thought not only do you work well together and play well together, but you have a good sense of stage presence. You appear to emulate what you are singing. You present it in such a manner that is well orchestrated, that is well sounded, that is enjoyable to the average individual. I think you're both beautiful people, and not just your personality. You really are very attractive looking people, and I think it adds to the entire package. I have great faith and belief that in 6 months, when I beg you to come back on my show and interview me, you were going to tell me that you don't have time anymore because you're going to become bigger than most people I know, because you're humbled and because you're genuine and because I really enjoy knowing these two people have come together to produce this sound, even with the few things that you have out there. They're amazing. I would listen to these all the time. I would tell my friends to listen to them. I would tell my friends to buy them. And I would wholeheartedly advocate anything that you do in the future. So if you don't knock on my door and ask for help, I'll be pissed. That's my 30 seconds.
That was about a minute, but that was awesome.
Yeah, how's time?
Well, sorry. Next time I won't say another word to you folks. So, yeah, I think it's always important to end a show off on either a good note or a bad note. Most of the time, my 30 seconds are usually okay, but, you know, sometimes people just overstep the mark, and you two do, and I really am crossing my fingers for you. I will send you an invitation to come to my party. Apparently, Deborah says you must pick her up on the way to Wisconsin because she's coming too. So you just do a little bypass to Canada and then come back over here. It'll be all good.
You never know. We might be going through there. You never know.
My God, yeah.
Honest to God, crazier things have happened. You would not believe. I couldn't even start to tell you the crazy things that have happened, you know, but it's awesome.
Good. Wonderful. Definitely. So what I want to let you guys know before I let you go is after the show gets done, about a half an hour from now, this becomes an archived episode. So individuals, fans, whomever want to go back for the next year, 2 years, whatever, they can go back at any point in time. I will be integrating your second song onto the interview so people can get a sense of the two different songs that you have. I will also post up all of your contact information on my show page as well as my personal page. Before I forget, Deborah, I don't even know what else to say except I love you. I just don't know what else to say. Thank you so much for bringing the two of you on, obviously. Thank you for being my friend, Deborah. Thank you for the prayers, Deborah. Thank you to everyone else before I forget for their prayers for my child. I appreciate that very much. And I'm sorry I ran over you guys. I'm sorry I've kept you so long. But I was just having a wonderful time, and I hope that you did as well.
We had a wonderful time with you, and I think we'll have to give you our take on you now.
Oh,
go ahead, Lisa.
Now, you are hilarious. Not only are you funny, but I can tell that you're really quick. You're really smart. I like your take. I like your questions. They're very unique. I think you're a very interesting interviewer, definitely. Debbie was saying that you're very unique and very interesting, and she was right on the money about that. This is definitely the most interesting interview we've ever done. And it's like you ask a lot of really cool questions, stuff that, like, we had to really sit there and think about it. You know, it's really cool. And I think it's neat the fans get to hear some different questions because you do get kind of the same thing all the time. So, yeah, awesome. And obviously you're just a really kind, sweet lady, too. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Now, I must admit the last thing that I'm going to say to everybody, because I'm actually going to come out and see, this is going to be like admittance on radio, national radio here, because I've not ever told this to anyone, and this has never happened. This would be the first interview that I have ever done and gotten through without anybody recognizing that I cried through half of it. So thank you very much for saying such wonderful things.
Oh, man.
Yeah. This is probably one of the hardest interviews I've ever had to do because my personal standpoint with my child has been having so many complications. So this is really hard to do. And you know, your folks made it much more bearable. So I appreciate that very much. And I do appreciate the kind words. And now I'm going to let you go before I start to actually cry. So I'll catch up with both of you on Facebook so that we can get the process going because I would really like to utilize your music. I would really enjoy that.
Well, God bless, and thanks for taking your time out of your busy life, you know, because, you know, tough times don't last, but tough people do, you know.
And best of luck with your show, and I think that's really cool. I think people will find it very interesting what you do, for sure.
Let's hope so. All right, guys, we'll be in touch soon.
God bless. Nice talking to you.
All right, dear, thanks. All right, folks, just to wrap up, that was, of course, Lisa and Terry from Cadillac Blue. Once again, to reiterate, Terry, last name is Baker, and he is on Facebook. You can find him there. Lisa, unfortunately, has gotten to the 5,000 mark, so I think you're going to be kind of out of luck until she establishes a second page. They can be found on iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, MySpace. Their Twitter handle, again, is at CADBLUBAND, and website, again, is www.cadillacblue.com. Just a quick reminder to everyone, Lori Zaslow will be on the show tomorrow, which is, of course, she is infamous for being the Bravo Love Broker. So please be sure to tune in tomorrow for the show. And once again, thanks so much to Deborah for everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.